All right, welcome back. In this chapter, chapter 5, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the blogs feature in Liferay and how we can use this for the Livingston platform. Okay. Now, in the last decade or so, blogs have become quite a popular way of sort of getting information out there, marketing, and driving people to your sites by establishing yourself as an authority. Now, this is done through individual blogs, but also for company blogs. So it could be something like your sister-in-law who is fascinated with essential oils, writing up new blogs about how they saved her life. Or it could be a company like Livingston who wants to establish their authority as the people with the travel know-how, the people who know not only the best places to go, which of course would be Livingston, but also the best places or the best ways to travel. Okay, so that could be things like packing lists or things to do in Barcelona or things you can do in Bali. And of course, there would be a little tidbit in there about how you can go to the best hotel or resort in the world by staying at a Livingston hotel and resort. Okay, people read these blogs all the time. They're shared across social media. And so these are very important for, again, that SEO and that marketing piece for a lot of large companies today. Okay, so we're going to look at how you can use Liferay blogs to do exactly that for your business. And of course, we'll look at an example for Livingston Life as we've been discussing in the previous chapters. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here. All right. Now, blogs in Liferay can be created in a few different places. They can be created in a site or in the global site. Okay. In general, they could just be created in sites, but it's important to note some of the distinctions between these. Okay. It could be a traditional site. It can be an organization site. It could be the global site, or it can even be a user site. Okay, so you can actually set it up so that users on their profiles in Liferay can generate blogs, and you can sort of aggregate them from these different users and display them on a site. Because of this, there are a few different strategies that you can work with here for blogging on the platform. Okay, you can do user blogs, like I just mentioned, allowing specific users to have the blogs widget on their page and just write blogs and have that aggregated somehow. You can do organization member blogs where members of a specific organization are writing blogs and it's being aggregated and displayed somewhere that way. Or you can just do site member blogs. Like the Livingston Life example, we can have a site that is dedicated to that kind of marketing, and we can have our team, the Livingston Life team, Omar, for example, Omar Miles, he's going to be writing some of these Livingston Life blogs, and we'll be publishing them, getting them marketed, sharing them on social media, and hopefully establishing or continuing to establish the authority of Livingston Hotels and Resorts. Okay. Now, the Liferay blog application that allows us to create new blogs makes the process much simpler for us and allows us some of those asset framework features that I've been mentioning before. Okay. We can just simply drag and drop an image for that cover image, add our title, subtitle, our information, the actual text, and then we can go ahead and provide any of those tags that we've talked about with metadata or categories, and we can go ahead and have them posted on our sites. Okay. Now, there are a few different widgets we can use to do this, and I'll talk about those in a little bit. Okay. Now, for the actual content creation, instead of the title and the subtitle, when you're actually writing your blog, you can take advantage of the Alloy editor. Okay, I've mentioned the Alloy editor in context of web content, but you can use it for blogs as well. This is essentially an enhanced WYSIWYG editor that allows you to provide different formattings. You can use some predefined styles, and you can also actually open it up and add and edit HTML or things like that if you'd like to do that as well. So you can add images, you can add YouTube videos, you can add grids or tables, you can add separators, whatever you need to do to make your blog look is exactly as you expect. Okay. Now, I just mentioned you can add images. There is also the image editor built into the Alloy editor as well. So you can add your image in, you can provide some filters, you can crop your image, you can do whatever you need to do, again, to make it look exactly as you expect on your blog post. Okay, so keep those in mind, as well as some pretty cool tools you can use to actually generate blogs quickly and make them look nice. All right. Now, like I mentioned, to display blogs, there are a few different widgets available to us. Okay, there is the blogs widget. That's just the basic blogs display. And there are a number of things you can do here. You can set, as you can see here, the display settings, determining how it's displayed, which social bookmarks to display, which metadata to display. The communication settings are basically parameters for how the blogs widget will interact with other widgets, such as the categories navigation or something like that. Okay. You can set up some sharing configuration to make sure that you are fully prepared to have sharing across the different social media platforms. And of course, you can choose scope. So where am I getting these blogs from? Is it from this individual site or elsewhere? Okay. Now, the blogs aggregator was sort of what I was referring to earlier when I was saying you can aggregate your blogs from those different areas, whether it's users from an organization or just normal users on their profile. You can add a blogs aggregator, and it will essentially allow you to configure where the blogs are coming from, how it's going to display, and you can also set up RSS feeds on these as well, and have that all configured and displayed on really any site on the platform. Additionally, there is a new application that you can install called Adaptive Media. And what this essentially does is it allows you to ensure the responsive design of the images on your blogs. Okay, so this is something that you can use to control the images to make sure that as people come on any device to read your awesome blogs or the awesome blogs of the Livingston Life, it's going to look good. It's going to look exactly as they expect, and there won't be anything in the way of them engaging with the content that you have provided. Okay. So if you're interested, you can see here there is some documentation on this. There's a link in the slides. You guys can go ahead and take a look at that as well, and see if this is something that you would need for your own use of the blogs tool. Okay. All right, so let's just walk through an example of this for Livingston Life. We'll create a blog together. We'll import some other blogs, and then we'll see how the asset publisher that we configured to display blogs and display them with our new ADT is going to look on the front page. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and hop over here. Okay. Make sure you are in Livingston Life. If you are not currently here, go ahead and use the site selector and navigate to the Livingston Life site by going to My Sites and clicking on Livingston Life. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and open up the content section here and open up the blogs section. All right, once we are here, we can go ahead and click on the Add button at the top right. All right, and we now have the editor that we saw a little bit earlier in the slides. We can drag and drop our image, we can add our information, we can take advantage of that alloy editor or image editor as needed as well. Okay. All right, so to get the image, I'm gonna go ahead and open up my exercises in my Finder, or you can go ahead and do that in your file system. Okay. Go ahead and navigate to the 05 blog section. Okay, so again, if you're coming back from a little bit of a break, that will be in your C Liferay or user home Liferay, LRU/REL exercises, and then the 05 blogs folder. Okay. All right, so we can drag the Fiji.jpg here to the top. Have a nice little image here. We can provide a caption if we'd like to as well, but for our purposes, we're just going to go ahead and add in our titles and subtitles. Okay. For the title, go ahead and type in "I Dream of Fiji." Beautiful name, wouldn't you say? For subtitle, go ahead and do a tropical retreat. Okay. All right, and now you need to write all of this from your mind. No, I'm just kidding. We have a text file for this. We can go ahead and just open that up and copy paste it in here. Okay, so I'm gonna open up my exercises again. Click on Fiji.text. I'm gonna copy this. And I'm going to go ahead and paste it into the content section. Okay. Again, the alloy editor would allow me to do some formatting. I can click on this here. I can add those different things here. I can open up the code view here. I can actually add HTML or add some things there as well. All right, but we're going to go ahead and just leave the text here for simplicity's sake. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and open up the categorization section so we can add some tags. Okay. Like I said earlier, blogs or message board posts are great for tags. It's a way where your bloggers can just tag things as they see fit, and users can find information using those tags. Okay. So go ahead and click into the categorization section here. We could do a Fiji tag. Okay. We can do a Livingston Life tag. Okay. We can do anything else that you'd like to do. Okay, but those tags will be there. And when we hit publish, we will be able to search by those tags as well. Okay. All right, so that was nice and fast. We can go ahead and come down and hit publish. All right, and now we have our first beautiful blog. Okay, and again, once this is published, we can share this on social media. We can do some other configuration to set up our SEO. We can establish ourselves or begin to establish ourselves as the authority on travel. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and import the rest of our blogs here. Again, just so that we can see once these blogs have been generated, how are we actually presenting them on the Livingston Life site? Okay. So click on the options menu at the very top of blogs and click export import. Okay. Click on import here and click on select file. All right. Navigate to the exercises folder. And again, make sure you're in the 05 blogs section. So go ahead and click on that. All right, and choose the blogs import.lar. Okay, go ahead and open that up. Click continue and click import. All right, so once we see successful, we can go ahead and close the pop-up here. All right, so we have a bunch of new blogs. You guys can feel free to take a look at those, read those. I'm sure they're very exciting if they're not lorem ipsum. And go ahead and click on Go to Site. Okay. Might take a second to load. So again, you can go ahead and refresh. All right, and we can see our asset publisher is now displaying our blogs in a nice design here. This is actually using some of Liferay's lexicon implementation called Clay. So it's a number of CSS classes that make things look very nice, make them look consistent with the rest of the platform that we've seen. Okay. And if I wanted to, I could go ahead and modify this. I could, let's say, for example, click on the asset publisher and call this something like recent blogs, okay, or something like that. All right, and I can go ahead and click on any of these. I happen to like burgers, and I see a picture of a burger, so best eats in Kansas City. I can click on that. All right, and it's gonna show me my basic blog post here. I can actually repost here, okay? I can click back, and you'll see towards the bottom I have my pagination as well. Okay, so I can go to next. I'll see my other blogs. I can go to previous, okay? And I'm back at the front page. All right, so this gives us a great starting point for the Livingston Life site. All right, now that we have the asset publisher displaying our blogs in a nice format like this, we could add a banner, we could add some new content, we can add a new theme. So our Livingston Life team can make this look very, very nice. Remember that blogging is an effective marketing strategy that can both establish your authority on an individual topic and really get your brand out there across the social media platforms and things like that. And of course, you can do that in Liferay using a number of different strategies. So again, we talked about the user strategy of having your users write blogs on their profiles, and you can aggregate that on different sites and display it. You can have a specific organization designated towards writing blogs, or you can just do it on an individual site, just like we're doing for Livingston Life, okay? You can display the blogs through different widgets. So there's the blogs widget, there's the blogs aggregator, for example. We talked about those. And of course, there is the asset publisher, which we're using on Livingston Life to present the blogs in a more specific way, okay? And lastly, keep in mind, there is also adaptive media that will help you to keep your images in your blogs responsive, allowing your blogs to be accessible on any of the different devices that users may be reading your blogs on, okay? We're done with blogs for this section. It's a bit of a short chapter for you. In the next chapter, what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of our localization and translation options that are available to us by default in Liferay.